Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another video on my channel, HAIRLICIOUSLY. If you guys are new to the channel, please make sure to subscribe so that you guys are updated on hair loss and hair transplant content, as well as updates on current hair loss treatments in the pipeline. In today's video, I wanted to give you an exciting update regarding breezula, also known as its developmental code name CB0301, or by its active ingredient class Coderone by Cassiopeia, and it's actually now owned by a company called Cosmo Pharmaceuticals. Most of you guys who have been keeping up with various hair loss treatment companies probably have already heard what CB0301 is, but for those who do not know what it is, it's basically a synthetic steroidal anti-androgen that acts as an androgen receptor antagonist, and it's currently being developed as a potential treatment for androgenetic alopecia. Cassiopeia also developed Winlevi, which is also the same type of drug with active ingredient class Coderone, but at a lower concentration. And this is used to treat moderate to severe forms of hormonal acne. And the good thing is that this was actually approved by the FDA in 2020. So factoring that in, there's a pretty good chance of CB0301 eventually being FDA approved as the first anti-androgen to treat androgenetic alopecia in the world. Now, Cosmo Pharma had released a 2023 preliminary unaudited PDF report, which reported that if CB0301 is approved by the FDA, it's going to cost somewhere between $75 to $150 USD per month. Report also mentioned that breezula is currently in phase 3 clinical trials as of 2023. They're using 75 milligram of class Coderone solution versus vehicle solution twice a day. And the interesting thing to note here is that this clinical trial is a two-part study which evaluates safety and efficacy in a two identical 6-month multi-center prospective randomized double-blind vehicle-controlled studies that will look at the target area hair count and patient-reported outcome, followed by an additional 6-month single-blind treatment in Part 1 responders to determine long-term safety and durability of treatment. Now, if you guys take a look at this timeline here, Cosmo Pharma expects to file the NDA towards the end of 2025, and this NDA is basically a formal step asking FDA to consider CB0301 for marketing approval. If everything goes as planned, we're looking at a potential commercialization of CB0301 as the world's first FDA-approved anti-androgen treatment towards the end of 2026. Now, this is incredible because, this has the potential to be the first FDA-approved drug that works in a different mechanism of action in nearly 3 decades. We've had finasteride, dutasteride, Minoxidil as the kind of like the golden standard for treating hair loss for the longest time. And now we have the possibility of being able to throw in an FDA-approved anti-androgen to treat hair loss. So my take on this is that, it's always a good thing to have a variety of treatments commercialized because it's gone through, the rigorous clinical trials and FDA approval. And while we do have many anti-androgens and other treatments available for research purposes, this would actually be the first one to be clinically approved for treating hair loss and also with a proven safety profile. I think that, there's a lot of people that are simply not going to dive into other available hair loss treatments because of the unknown potential long-term side effects. But once these drugs become approved by the FDA, this would open up doors for those who want to add in an approved topical anti-androgen. I will say that, anti-androgens in general shouldn't be taken in hopes of trying to regain lost ground. You honestly can't expect a whole lot from, a topical anti-androgen that doesn't really affect the endogenous hormonal profile. And at least to me, anti-androgens are used to primarily just hold ground, maintain existing hair. When you pair it up with a 5-AR inhibitor and growth stimulant, you're also targeting hair loss through multiple mechanisms of action, and this will allow you to maximize maintenance and potential growth. This definitely should not be used as monotherapy, for obvious reasons. And also, this is going to be good for people who, have side effects from 5-AR inhibitors or other treatments, and this may be something that may work in their favor where there's not going to be too much systemic exposure or any adverse side effects. I will also mention that the binding affinity to the androgen receptor for CB0301 is relatively not that strong. And to kind of put things in, into perspective, RU581, for example, has a binding affinity of about 40 times higher than CB0301. We also know that pyrolutamide, or KX826, has an even higher binding affinity to the AR than RU, and this is by about 3 to 4 times. And this is because pyrrolutamide has the same or higher binding affinity than DHT. But all in all, at the end of the day, getting an anti-androgen that is FDA approved is going to be a big step in the industry. And like I've mentioned, if maintenance can be achieved with absence of side effects, this would be considered a win for a topical anti-androgen. I really look forward to the efficacy and safety data from phase 3 clinical trials, and hopefully it's going to be more promising than what we saw from phase 2 clinical trial results. And there's actually a really good chance that breezula will get the FDA approval eventually in the next couple of years, because Winlevi was able to do so at a lower concentration, and it's very similar. So I'm very hopeful that things will turn out positive. I'll definitely keep you guys posted in the loops once we get an update for phase 3 clinical trials. Let me know in the comments on what you think of CB0301, and if you think that it's going to be an effective form of treatment for androgen alopecia. I know that there are some people already who are currently using CB0301, and I honestly would love to get your opinion and your personal experience on how efficacious that the treatment has been. But that pretty much wraps up the video for CB0301. I will give you guys a little preview on the next video. We are actually going to be giving away one free hair transplant at Motion Clinic. One of the head doctors there, Dr. Sung, is going to be conducting the FUE procedure. We're going to have a lot of good before and after photos. We're going to explain exactly how everything works, go for pricing for those who are still interested. But this is actually the first time that Motion Clinic is going to be doing a free giveaway. I've done one with Turkey over at Cosmetica a couple times, and we plan on doing so every couple years. But Motion Clinic, I know a lot of you guys are interested. This is the clinic that I went to get both of my hair transplants done in 2000, I believe, I forget, 2015 or 2000, around there. And also a second hair transplant in 2018. And so far it's been, 5-6 years. And as you can tell, results are pretty good. So I'm really excited for that. Stay tuned for that. And until next time, I will talk to you guys in my next video, guys. Take care.